Hi. We're not allowed to become desensitized to police violence, to violence against the Black community, to the constant barrage of hideous stories and shocking atrocities committed across the country. What happened to Tyree Nichols is just another horror in an intolerable system we can no longer accept as acceptable. What kind of modern Western nation allows for extrajudicial justice? What kind of country continues to fund the murder of its own citizens? Video after video emerges that breaks our hearts and sickens our souls, and yet nothing ever changes. We live in a nation of sport killing at the hands of our law enforcement, of execution without cause, where a traffic incident can be a death sentence. And it doesn't matter what community you're a part of. It should outrage you. You should be infuriated that you're being forced to live. No, worse, that you're being forced to fund a lawless horror of a society that would allow this kind of thing to just continue happening. We watched police officers beat a Black man to death, and in the same week, the Republican Party disbanded the subcommittee on civil rights and civil liberties that dealt directly with criminal justice and police reform. That should be unacceptable to you. The officers who beat Tyree to death are monsters. The people who stood by and watched are depraved. But these people are a product of the system they were brought up in, reflections of a culture they're a part of. And we need to collectively admit the system itself is broken. It doesn't matter if there's a million good apples in police forces around the country. The tree is rotten. And we can no longer live in a barbaric society where people can't drive home or walk down the street or make a mistake or even exist in their own homes without the threat of being savagely murdered. We can't live in a society where people are terrified they're going to be obliterated from the planet simply for existing with melanin. The horror Black Americans have to face at the hands of a racist system, the targets that are on their backs simply for walking amongst us, the history they've had to live with that we continually ask them to rise from the ashes from is intolerable. I don't care how it's always been. It needs to change. And anyone who wants to live in a civil and safe society needs to collectively stand up and insist we change it. No more saying no more. The time for words is over. Now is the time for action.